Selman.
Yeah.
She retired 2 years, 3 years ago, came back in, and she's been a big commentator all over the world. Did you believe that impacted anyway, positively or otherwise, negatively, any of the players in the Leo's team?
Not in a way that would affect what we wanted to do. For us, and for the players, they just saw her as
another player.
As another player. Nothing big. And most of the time that she gets to the crease, there is pressure. There is pressure. Well, when we played against them, there is pressure on her. So there was never a moment where she had any opportunity to relax.
Okay.
And when she get to the crease, we were on top of Barbados. And so she was under pressure to do, most of score. And in both of the cases, she made errors trying to score. So it was just the Leeward Island exerting consistent pressure. And whoever the batter came, I didn't think that, based on our discussion, that her name came up with a view that we are looking at in any way special to her or about her. As a matter of fact, I could say one of the players was saying, send her back to commentate.
Send her back to commentate.
Yes. She doesn't have a role here. So that was, she's my good friend over the years, having, because she has always, during her time of commentary, she had always wondered. She said, yeah, we're looking at the Leeward Island team, and she saw me over the years with the team struggling, can't beat a game, and, the same look on my face. And, she was wondering, after she became a commentator, how am I doing? How am I getting to with the girls? And, what are the things that, I am doing? And even suggest one or two things that I could do, but I told her is just the love. I knew what I had as a team, and I decided to work with that throughout the period of time. But we knew as a team also, again, when his voice was added to the setup, we knew based on the composition of our team that we needed a player with that pedigree to stabilize the top order. Mm-hmm. And when her name came up, and she was approached and decided to play with us, we were really grateful for her coming, because we needed, and you saw it throughout the tournament where she get in, and as a matter of fact, throughout the tournament she was the better bat on show in all of the teams. I don't understand why she isn't given an opportunity to be a part of the West Indies setup again, because you say you're picking team based on performance, and she's performing better than some of the players that we knew. Of course, there is some question of her fitness, but again, sometimes that little conversation with some players can be of importance. But for us from the Leeward Island end, we saw the inclusion of Kiana Joseph. She had decided that she wanted to come and live in St. Kitts, and she indicated that she reached out to the Windward Island and indicated to them that she's living in St. Kitts now. She has reached out to the Leeward Islands to play with them, being that she lives in St. Kitts. And so we understand her being a part of our setup, and the mere fact that she does the left arm spin, we try to encourage her to do that, because we found out with the West Indies she wasn't doing anything, but so we decided to encourage her to get in that leg spin, which would add to our pedigree of bowlers, because all we had was 3 other off spinners, and so it was important for us to get that leg spinner in, and she add to our substance as part of the bowling department.
That was really tremendous. That first game you mentioned against Jamaica, the first century was put on the board. You had the privilege of, when I say the century, the team score. think it was 106 or
106.
106. The second game, it was 108, I think, and then 118 against Barbados, which turned out to be the highest team score of the tournament. Leewards went on to get 4 scores of more than 100 for the tournament. The only team to do that. Jamaica was closest with 2 centuries. Everybody else had 1. And Leewards, the team where no other team scored more than 100 or more against that. Did that in any way, apart from what you discussed, what sort of frame of mind did those scores, those hundreds, the history of those, put the players, preparing them for the next match?
You see, we knew, and even at the back end of our batting, we knew that the chances of hitting boundaries is there as well. We have the power at the top, but even at the back end, the middle order and the back end, there are persons there that can give us that impetus. As a matter of fact, in one of the same game against Barbados, Tanya Martin and Josiah Claxton put on a partnership between the 6 and 7 wicket to propel us significantly because we were struggling a little bit. The top order had gone, and Josiah and Josiah Claxton and Tanya Martin being Josiah had about 6, Tanya was 7, and they put on a significant partnership to propel us to that target of over 118 against Barbados. So we knew from our batting perspective, and then when we look at the other teams, 5, 6, and 7 in most of those teams are not capable, barring any bad delivery, really bad delivery, they get a boundary. So we knew that our power was always a part of our structure. And so when we play against teams like Guyana and Trinidad, we knew that it was key to get players like Whitney Cooper, and there was this lady that torment the Leeward Island sometimes. She's one of the, I don't remember her name, she's an older player. She just comes in and swing. Her name was on the tip of my tongue.
Where is she from, you said?
Trinidad.
Oh, Trinidad. Okay.
She does some little medium pace as well. But she's one of those players who were there several years. They're still using her because she has that power hitting ability. She took a game away from us in St. Kitts last year in Connery. And I think that we faltered again from leadership and team perspective because we had a Indian leg spinner who was playing for the under-19, and we thought that variety would have been key, in this tournament. But we had about 20-something runs and about 3 overs against Trinidad, and for whatever reason, our premier bowlers, run away from the ball and put on the little innocent 16-year-old and that girl, the Indian Kampalali, Sainavi Kampalali, and she murdered with some 6s over in the street, in the street. But I thought that there were bowlers like Hector and those bowlers still to come in, and we thought that it was necessary for them to bring up the individual on. But I think we lapsed as a team. But the name, man, can't get it. But she has been one of the person who has taken away game from us over the years, with her hard hitting, and I think it's just because of lack of confidence on the part of the bowlers. No, like the game against us when we played, she was easy picking because what we plan, again, you can plan as a team from the coaching perspective, but the execution is the players. And so they have to believe in the plan. And so the girls took the plan. And as soon as she came in, field was specifically set. The bowler, there was a change in the bowling to bring on this particular bowler to bowl to her. And so
that's real sense.
yeah, so the plan was there all the years, but it's just that people were just afraid and they didn't believe in the skill set. But like I said, for example, I used to see sometimes when Carl Hooper come to the crease, Australia gives Steve Waugh the ball. And Steve Waugh come with some gentle thing and then Carl Hooper play some shots and then he gone.
And then Steve Waugh off the ball.
And then Steve Waugh off the ball.
His job is to get Carl Hooper.
Right. And
He
so,
normally does over a period of time.
So we thought that, okay, particular batter came to the crease and no matter who was bowling, there's a change. And the particular bowler would bowl and so we had planned and the players were able to execute the plan.
Shifting from leewards a bit to the tournament itself. I think there were 6 occasions, are there about 6, 7, 8 occasions where a team took 10 wickets in a match. Not so dominant. The batting, quite often 3 batters got into double figures. This is right across the board, the competition. And in some cases, 11s and 12s and maybe one get into 20, 30s. On about 4 occasions, a few batters got into the double figures and the high double figures. How do you see that? If you were a West Indian selector, how would that be taken? And how would you go about fixing it, basically?
Well, first and foremost, the most of the batters cannot construct an inning. The ability to put an inning together is, to my mind, not something that the batters at the crease were capable of doing. And so a lot of work will have to be placed on that area, how to fix that. Well, you can fix that by many ways. One of which, the mindset. For example, in a game where using Leeward Island against whichever team, there's a player, and I'm not, in any way saying anything negative that is bad or anything about the individual, but she is big. So she's moving not as quick as many other players. And there was an area of the field that she was on. And when we look at the scoring, nobody tried to utilize hitting ball in her area and understand that she's not going to get there quickly. And so let us utilize that area and score. So I'm saying crafting an inning and finding ways to score with what is at your disposal. The field set, who is bowling, who is fielding where, and utilizing the weak areas. There were moments where I saw that, and it was like a mid-wicket, and nobody utilized getting the ball to mid-wicket and get singles, rotating the strike consistently. And so, for me, the batting, it was way below par, way below par. And if you're looking at our batters from a West Indies selection point of view, you have a lot of problems to solve. A lot of problems to solve. Because the batters, in my mind, did not know how to construct an inning. As you said, many would have gotten into 15 and 16 and sometimes 20 and got out sometimes foolishly when at that particular stage of the inning, field placing is much space. There's much more space on the field that you can utilize areas. And one of the things that I find, and I knew, based on, and it's something that I'm trying to teach, but sometimes, honestly, it is really, really difficult to coach women. Really, really difficult. Because, Mr. Mills, they come with emotions, women's bank and emotions. And when they bring that emotion to you, the question is, what do you do? How do you deal with it? And sometimes, you can, but then there are other times, and so it's not an easy thing to do, to do when it comes to women coaching. And again, our culture has something to do with even the behavior of our women. Because I could give an example. The Indians, we had a couple of Indians in our team. And when you speak to those Indians, they're very submissive. They see you as the figure. You're the coach, and so you say this and they're listening, and they would want to do most and everything that you're trying to tell them to do. But our girls, man, they put opposition to almost everything, rather than sometimes trying what you're telling them to do. Let me try this. And they get bored very, very easily. They always want to try something different, but they have not mastered the thing that they should be doing more effectively. For example, playing defense. Defense, no matter how good you are and how hard you can hit the ball, you should have the ability to defend a ball when it is good, as we would say in cricket. Because if you can't defend that ball that is good, it means that if that is the first ball you get and it's a good ball, I mean, that's it, you're going for naught. Mm-hmm. And if you're able to defend that, and then you hit the next one with a bad ball, you hit it for six, and then another ball come good, and you defend that, and then you hit the next ball. I mean, that's the foundation of an inning. So for me, women they get bored real quickly, and they bring some serious emotions to training that you will have to. But for me, I have girl children that I'm very, very attached to, and dealing with them has given me that little impetus to learn to deal with these other females. Because I don't think if I was in a position not to have girls and deal with them, I would have. I think I would have given up long time. But my girls have taught me, because even sometimes I go to them for the little advice. This is what I'm facing here, and they say, "Daddy, remember, it's ladies you're dealing with." And so sometimes I go to them, and they're the one who help me, give me that little energy and advice as to how to deal with our ladies. But if you're a West Indian coach and you looked at the tournament, you're in problems.
What do you think were the top three, I don't know, positives you would have taken out of the tournament? The three best things you think happened to your team? And on the flip side, the three areas you wish you could forget quickly and start to work on?
Let me deal with the positive first. The positive was to include those three under-19 players. That brought some energy and impetus to our fielding department, and that I would continue to maintain. That was the impetus. The impetus. The other thing was this time around the players believe in the plan that was communicated by the coaches, and they try as much as they can to work with that plan. So that was one of the plus. Thirdly, the leadership of the captain. Captain was on par with the leadership. The negatives, we lost in every game. We lost a wicket in either the first or the second over, and that wasn't something that we wanted. We changed the batting order a few times to see how we could minimize, mitigate that, but it happened every time. That is an area that I think we would like to work on, and it had nothing to do with the lack of skill set of the individual. It's just the temperament and approach to the inning. That is something that we would have to work on, because we know the importance of our team and the capability of the particular batsman that were at the crease. So just those two, I would say that something that we would, the negative that I would take from the tournament.
Historic, indeed, the Leewards, because over the years, not winning a match, and it seemed like I remember giving commentary when they won a game, and the expression was as if they won the tournament. That was back when in the development. And you would have worked with the team over the years. How do you look forward now to next year with the crop of players you're having? Injury and what have you. Do you foresee any general change? And I know it's perhaps a little too early to ask and make a decision, but do you foresee any general change to the composition of the team?
You're correct to say that it's pretty early, but God forbid it remain as is. No, I don't see any significant change from what we had this year. Of course, there could be a situation where in the under-19, for example, there could be some significant talent that we could see in that department, and may generate some interest from the coaching and management staff to include those players, because we saw the importance of the three that were included in terms of the energy that they brought and the spirit that they brought to the games. So that would be something that we may have to look at. But based on, if I'm to just close my eyes and look at it again, based on the fact that the players who are part of this setup, if they play cricket, they can only get better. One other thing too is our fitness. I think that is one of the takes, the negative take for us to work on. And I am one who believes that we play cricket in the Leeward Islands all year round. Our cricket is seasonal, and so if a player wants to maintain any level of fitness as a cricketer, wanting to play for the Leeward Island and have any thought of aspiration to play for Cricket West Indies, then fitness is a personal thing. You have to make sure that you ensure that you do what you need to do to get yourself at a fitness level. For example, you would have played this year, went through a tournament, and you have to assess yourself personally, where you are physically. Was I at a place where I wanted to be? Mm-hmm. If not, what it is that I need to do next year to be in a better position and do what is necessary. There are resources within the Leeward Islands, whichever country, because the countries that foster the Leeward Island players are Antigua, St. Kitts, and Nevis. And there are resources in St. Kitts, there are resources in Antigua and Nevis, and in Trinidad, where Rennie's boys from, there are resources that she can tap into to get herself in a better state physically to get herself ready for the tournament.
Finally, Sly, sponsors. Anybody or sponsors and or persons who would have assisted you want to say thank you for ensuring the Leeward Islands, one, were able to participate and to walk away with the victory?
Well, as I said previously on another program, that this victory is there are several people responsible. I could start with Mr. Seymour Williams at Life Fitness Center. He has been instrumental in allowing the ladies to train, to come to physically train at his institution at no cost. There was a relationship with the Leeward Island Hurricane franchise, and over the years, I've been going there and, take one or two girls. And as a sports personnel, and, he sponsored other sporting organization. And he decided that, money isn't all. And so he said, I can bring the girls there. And so I want to use this opportunity to thank him for that opportunity, to the privilege of bringing the ladies, at his institution. So there are many people who are responsible at this particular stage. Sponsorship, sometimes we have not had a sponsor, but there are persons and individuals who would have even spoken words of encouragement. That sometimes is even more meaningful, because sometimes the ladies are down, and if you're able to say something to inspire, to motivate, to encourage them, and to continue to play in a sport that sometimes is so unforgiving. And so I want to use this opportunity to thank all. I want to name Mr. Williams specifically because, like I said, he could have done something different, and he chose to give back to the community in the manner, and I want to use that, and that's a tangible part of it. Others, like I say, would have spoken and would have given encouragement, give a bat, a pair of gloves here, and whatever else. But for me, it is the encouragement. Even though I know in the early days when we were getting bash, it was terrible because the language was coming and all those other things. But I knew that there were persons who were still supporting. And I want to say, Gillian Skerritt, Richard Skerritt, sister, the best supporter of Leeward Island is Gillian Skerritt. And so for her, every time even if one person is leaving to go to engage in West Indies, Zara Skerritt, Zara Claxton, Aliyah Weeks, when the Leeward Island, even St. Kitts is leaving St. Kitts to go anywhere. Bet you bottom dollar that Lady Skerritt would be at the airport to show and give her support. And so I want to use the opportunity to thank her. Again, like I said, she has been a part. She has been inspiring. She has been motivating. She has given tangible to me, so I can filter that into the team. And so I want to use this opportunity here to thank her as well for her continued support and encouragement over the years of this tournament.
Sly, it has been a tremendous pleasure having you here with us, and a tremendous feeling for the fans and the well-wishers of the Leeward Islands cricket, especially the females. It has been a long, tough road, and we must say congratulations to you and the ladies, and we're hoping that this increases the appetite for bigger and better things, and best wishes to you and the team for a even more successful future.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, sir. You're listening to On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. We have had Mr. Percy Sly Daniel here, live and lively in the studio, the coach of the Leeward Islands Stormers, the female team, who created history not only by winning when they won the regional T20 Blaze, but it's how they won it, beating all the teams, going through undefeated. And there were 3 Kittians, 2 divisions on the team, and we congratulate them, and we wish you, Sly, all the best for the future, and we look forward to greater successes. Stick and stay. We're going to take a little very short break, and we have our next set of guests here with us. And, they've been here a little bit. I do apologize for that. But we couldn't let Sly go without extracting as much information as possible. But don't go away. And, of course, if you want to call in 466-0989 or 762-0989 or 662-0989, and you can follow us online you can follow us online on Facebook, WINN FM Facebook, and WINN FM YouTube. Don't go away. We will be right back in a second and a half. welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back to On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. We are back and we have some heavyweights here in the studios. We are going to get around to them in a second or two. But before we do that, we have to share some information. As new umpires and scorers association, the St. Kitts Cricket Umpires and Scorers Association held its first general meeting yesterday, Monday, the 9th of February, nearly September, the Monday, the 9th February. And hey, we're pretty pleased with the turnout. There were some 19 persons present. We expected between 15 and 20. And the situation is this: it's a new umpires and the scorers association. Well, the scorers, there has nothing been done in terms of the scorers and association previously. And the name, the St. Kitts Cricket Umpires and the Scorers Association. And we're calling it SCUSA for short. SKCUSA, the K and the C. One of them silent. I don't remember the law for English and that, but one of them got to be silent. Got SK, SCU, and the C carries the K sound. And it is meant to redirect the standard and the levels of umpiring in St. Kitts. And note I say St. Kitts, not St. Kitts and Nevis. Nevis have their own cricket and their own association, but from a St. Kitts point of view. And we're looking to get umpires qualified and also scorers, get them certified. In terms of umpires, the late Andrew Weeks from SP with the Bestby, he has the privilege of being the first Leeward Islander to umpire test matches. And that was in 1983 in St. John's, Antigua, when the Indians visited. 1983, that is 17 and 26, 43 years ago. And he has been the first Leeward Island umpire to umpire test matches. And 43 years later, he is the only one to have umpired test matches. And we want to get umpires to that level, not just passing, because it's not about all of that. Their fitness, their ability on the field, knowing the laws of the game, applying the laws of the game when necessary, and of course the scorers, enhancing the certification. And we're not turning back anybody. We are accepting anybody of all age. You're not too young, you're not too old. So if you want more information, you can contact me, 668-2055, Troy Bif Mills, or you can call me at 765-1100, two numbers, 668-2055, or 765-1100, or you can contact Mr. Bill, Early Nisbet, better known as Bill. His number is 669-0339, 669-0339. That's Bill. You can contact him. Or there's a third person you can contact at the moment. That's Mr. Rudy Watley. And he is living up at Newwood. So you can also contact him as well to get information about the St. Kitts Cricket Umpires the St. Kitts Cricket Umpires and the Scorers Association. His number is 663-2988. So give him a call and we'll be able to tell you. We're accepting any and everybody. So you be there, you come, and even if you don't want to be an umpire or scorer, you just want to familiarize yourself with the laws of the game, we will be there. And we're going to get to the team. Boy, that's a heavyweight team there in Studio 2, boy. Real heavy. Well, I ain't going to let out the secret. I'm going to let you all know who they be when they're ready to tell you all who they be. But we're just making sure everything is in order with them. So this umpiring association, they have 5 qualified umpires. In St. Kitts and Nevis, we have 8 qualified umpires, 5 of which are members of this new association, the St. Kitts Cricket Umpires and the Scores Association. So to put that in perspective, of the 8 qualified umpires in St. Kitts, 5 of them are with this new association. The other association, they have 6, a membership of 6, half a dozen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 19 persons showed up, and we have a membership of 30, and while we do, which is what, 300%, 500%, I can't remember the maths, more than the other association. And some 10 persons are saying, well, hey, we're going to watch on, come to your meeting, look around a while, and see how things go before we decide. And that is okay, not a thing wrong with that at all, not a thing. So we say thank you to everybody. And as we go on, we're going to get new persons involved. Some persons may just want to volunteer to assist because they like what we're doing. That is okay as well. That is okay. You can call Bill Early Nisbet 669-0339, Rudolph Rudy Watley 663-2988, Troy Bif Mills 668-2055 or 765-1100. And we're getting ready to roll. Just give us a second. Let us go to basketball. Basketball, they started their 2026 season, and it was off with a bang on Sunday, 31st January. Some not so good news developed. Hitters, they were a no-show for the first night, and I did a little bit research, only to find out that they are no longer going to be part of the tournament. They have withdrawn from the tournament. So the 7 teams, they have now been down to 6. We have Birdwalk Prizers, Achievers Sports Club Jayhawks, who Jayhawks defeating Birdwalk 96-57 on the first night, falling short 4 of the 100. And then Sandy Point Falcons, the one by default out of Hitters at the time, but Hitters have withdrawn. Jayhawks, they defeated Youth and Sports Raiders out of Nevis in the second and match night 2, 70-67. St. Paul's Tough Nuts, they went down to St. Thomas Trinity United, which is a new team on the block, competing for the first time. Match night 3, we had Birdwalk Uprisers overcoming Sandy Point Falcons 65-58. And then Youth and Sports Raiders on night 4, Saturday 7th. They took care of business 87-36 against Sandy Point Falcons. The 96 so far being the top score for the competition and 36 being the lowest score so far. And St. Thomas Trinity, they went down 53-94 to Achievers Sports Club Jayhawks. They had some results tonight, actually. They had basketball. I'm not certain if that came off because it's been a cold and rainy day here in St. Kitts, and I'm not certain if that was played. I know we had a lot of rain in Sandy Point. We had some rain in Bastia. But St. Paul's, they were to play Youth and Sports tonight at Dorset, and Birdwalk, they were to come up against Hitters. And we're going to be going to the studio just now to the interview. Actually, we're ready to go, so let us go live and direct to everybody who all over the world who've been waiting to see all these heavyweight guests here in studio number 2. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening. Welcome to WINN FM 98.9. You guys are not strangers here. A home name. And you guys, boy, that's a powerful team over there, boy. No wonder y'all had to run me over to studio. One. I used to dabble a little bit with cricket, boy. But it's a good thing I maybe stick with the umpire when I look at all them heavyweights over there. Good evening, welcome, gentlemen. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good night.
Good, man. Good, yes.
Of the country.
Repeat again. We didn't hear you.
Come again?
Repeat what you said just.
Just give me 1 sec there. Yes, how you know?
Yeah, go ahead.
And give me 1 second. I have to make an adjustment, a quick adjustment here. My producer, he started me out raspy of Tough House Sounds. He does an awesome job, and he's really on top of things. I have to say good night to him.
Yes.
And he's really, well, of course, he looked like he wanted to put me out to work because a few weeks ago when I wasn't feeling well, he controlled things and he wanted, he sounded much better than me and he went on with the job. So I have to thank him for that.
Right.
Yes, gentlemen. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't think we've had this many persons in here, so you guys are setting a record. So do you mind introducing yourselves, gentlemen? Where are we going to start? Left to right? Right to left?
Yeah,
Well,
good night. I'm Myron Gishard Philip, one of the committee organizers.
Yes, Maurice Matthew, a part of the committee organizers too as well.
Good evening to all in Radio Land and Internet Land as well. I'm Steve Saunders, who chaired the organizing committee of the Molineux Keon Cricket Club.
the man of the moment, we're going to know. Any drum roll?
Yeah. Icon.
Just simply Niall Gishard.
Niall Gishard, alias Gish.
I don't need to add no more to that.
And this is my third time for the year, actually. So you may know me. I'm Sylvan Bartlett.
Thank you, gentlemen. Welcome. We do apologize. You should have been on a little earlier, but we started a little late, and we had to extract all the information out of the Leeward Islands senior female coach, winning their first championship after coming from nothing just about 10 years ago. We are here to talk about the event you gentlemen organized and held to honor Gish for the work, the contribution he has done to Molineux, Keon Cricket Club, as well as the St. Kitts Cricket, as well as Leeward's Cricket. And Gish has been around for some time. I had the privilege of umpiring with him playing, of course, and he may tell you I might have cheated him once or twice. And he may tell you that I may have sent him out when he didn't play the ball, or I didn't give him a wicket when the man was out. But these things happen. Even with the review, sometimes they get it wrong.
Right.
But this idea, remind us how it really came about and why.
All right. What happened is that sometime during the course of last year, Sylvan returned to St. Kitts, and he approached a few of us, basically wanting to have some cricket being played at Molineux. He felt as though that the game was, more or less dying in that area, and he wanted it to be revived.
Right.
And in doing so, he was originally thinking of just one fet match, so to speak, and have that game. And so the idea developed thereafter. Why not honor Noel Gishard, because he's been an icon within the community. And we got together, we had some conversations, and the rest is history, basically.
That is indeed a wonderful idea. I don't think we do enough here in St. Kitts, especially, to honor persons while they're here, while they get their flowers.
So
Quite
true.
often we wait until they're gone to the great beyond, and we do something, and that's really for the families and all the families to feel glad and proud of the contributions. And could somebody briefly remind us, who is Noel Gishard in terms of a cricket point of view?
Well, he's probably going to tell you a little more about himself, but for us as spectators, for us as fans, for us as teammates, we saw Gishard as one of the very few disciplined cricketers back then. He really took his cricket serious when it comes to his performance. He was a fighter, and he was disciplined, and because of that, he stood out, not in a positive way all the time. Many of us felt he was too hard, he was too strict, because he was played for fun, and we felt he was taking out the fun out of it. And it took us a long time to realize that he was teaching us are trying to teach us where it could be fun but also profitable financially as a career, as he took it. 'Cause that's all his brother know, is cricket. Played
Right.
cricket, he lived off of cricket,
Right.
he sleep cricket, and he's still contributing to the game of cricket. That's why we felt it was easy when the idea came up for us to all say, okay, let's
Definitely.
work on it. And I think that one motivated us to pull off this event in such a short time.
Right.
Many people may not know, for the multitude at the event, for the crowd that supported us, for the response that we got from the fans and the sponsors and
Sponsors,
everyone, people feel that we actually spend a year in this program. It was just a quick, but the energy, the determination, the
Right.
willpower was great. But, to your question, Gishad is somebody who made most of us here have that community pride in the 80s, 90s, when sports meant more than it means now to us. Sports was something that we lived on, and you may know, Mr. Mills, there was a pride, a community pride, an island pride, an area pride. And Gishad was one of those players that made Molyneux people feel good when he represented Molyneux. He made St. Kitts feel good when he represented St. Kitts.
Right.
He made Leeward Island feel good when he represented us, and also Combine Island. And he's one of the guys who I would have said got robbed easily from not really going to the milestone in cricket for the West Indies team.
Right. Right.
That's a very good point indeed. And you mentioned discipline when you spoke. I don't remember ever seeing Gishad in a uniform or his cricket gear. That was not spotless. I believe if he was bowling and he dive and he dirty up his pants, he'll go to the pavilion and change it. That's how clean and sharp this guy was. And a no nonsense man.
Right,
Taking it out,
right.
young or old, he gonna pencil you.
Yeah.
And he would have really helped. But did you play cricket? I don't remember you playing cricket.
Me, I played a little bit of cricket like in the early primary school days, but never really followed it up in the high school days. But, Noel was the one who trained us, from like grade 3 up until grade 6, he was always the coach that will come and teach us the sport, And at the time, Molyneux School was a good competitive team too as well, so... we appreciate all the hard work that Noel has put in for the community and the schools around the area.
You were a bat, bowler, wicket keeper,
I
or
like
pom-pom
wicket
boy.
keep. I like the wicket keep. I like the wicket keep back in the days, Yeah.
But Sanders is playing as well for Keon. Batting number 3, I think, wicket keeping most of the time. He might tell you I cheat about a couple times. He may not tell you, he ain't gonna tell you well the time he caught a ball and they appeal and I say out and the ball was a mile from the bat. I don't know. But Gish, people know you from the word cricket, people know Gish. Tell us a little about you. Tell us a little about how you got involved in cricket. Who encouraged you to get into cricket? Why you got into cricket?
Hey, first, let me thank the Almighty for being here today. Because lots of people may tend to get their flowers, as they will say, when they are passed and stuff like that. And the dead can't hear and see the thing. You understand? So
Right.
I just like to give God all the praise and thanks, you understand, for being here today, to be a part of this honoring and all the celebration, you understand. I must thank Myron, Maurice and Sylvan, who had been the main architect, along with the other members of the Molyneux community and the Molyneux Keon Cricket Club, you understand, for
Definitely.
pulling off such a come up with such a wonderful idea and have the thing so well executed, you understand. So them I say thanks, you understand. In terms of the cricket, and so cricket was the only thing by that back them time, you understand. It wasn't so much of other competing other sports, you understand, in terms of what you all see now, you understand. But cricket is always is my game all the time. That's the game I came to love, and I played for a lifetime, you understand?
Right.
And there was a lot of encouragement in terms of the sport, because we came up and there was Gilbert was there.
Yep.
He was the sort of a grandfather,
Right.
and the general at the community, you understand, which we all, and a highly disciplined kind of person as well too,
Right.
which we all tend to gather all those sort of knowledge and experience and discipline from, you understand? So I grew in that kind of limelight as well. And there's a lots of people that come down. I remember the people like Dwight Astafan, you understand? I remember with my first trip to England, he was very instrumental in terms of getting those contracts organized, you understand?
Right.
And there's a lot of people, I go back to Winston, there's a Mr. Winston Williams from Old Road. We used to call him Packer, because he used to go around and recruit people from different community to go down and play in Old Road. And they used to go a festival of cricket down there. So I used to leave from Molyneux to go to Old Road to practice.
Right.
Because at them time, Molyneux never had a first division team in the park. But even before that, I played for Renown for a couple of seasons, because they said to get into the national team, then you had to be a part of the Renown setup. I played for them for 2 seasons. I didn't get into the team then, and I went down to Old Road. I played for Eskimo down in Old Road, and a couple of years after, we had a first-class team in the park. And I remember the first time I represent St. Kitts. I think it was 90, it was 75, somewhere around there, 79, 75, I think it was, yeah. I think that's when Anguilla was trying to get into the Leeward Island tournament. There was on a trial basis. And Charles Wilkie was the captain of the national team then. I did make naught in that first game, unfortunately. But then I came back and I got some wickets, so I sort of balance out things there in that sense, you understand?
Right, right.
Because I was seeing myself as an all spinner really who love batting. It's only later on I really developed, when I started to get into the meat of the cricket, and I see how competitive the game is to sort of fit yourself in a particular team. You have to learn all the different skills, you understand, and you got to be good in the field, and you're able to bat and everything and stuff like that. But then, and after that, to me the rest was history, you know, because I never stopped from there. You understand? It was performance from performance. I get into the national senior team. It was about 78, somewhere there. And about 1980, 79 when I had a really good Leeward Island tournament then. That's when you used to have a really competitive Leeward Island tournament that plays between the various, St. Kitts Navies, Anguilla, Montserrat, and Antigua, and those islands. And I had the first C in the Leeward Island tournament. I got man of the tournament. I think that's got over 25 wickets and scored over 250 runs. And 1980, I was straight. I get into the Leeward Island team to play against the Windward Island, because you had to play that game to get into a combined island team as well.
Right.
We went to St. Vincent, and I got the most runs I get 7 wickets in the game there. And I couldn't get into the first team. Our first game was because we would play the game in December. The tournament would have been in January. So we went to St. Vincent in December. I got 7 wickets in that particular game, that Leeward versus Windward, to get into the combined team. And then we went to Trinidad to the first game, and I couldn't get into the team, and you know, there was some taste there, you understand?
Right.
You know, because you just come out
Performing.
a trial
excellent.
match, you
Yeah.
understand, to pick a final 11. And at those times, you know, the hardest thing, you know, was to make the team, you know. It was very difficult to make the team, because you're talking about the combined island teams, and you only need 13 players.
Right.
And all the supporting staff you will have now in the cricket today. You didn't have those times, you understand? You just have 13 players. Just had a manager, there was no coach. So the manager of the team worked as bakers as the coach. There was no actual coach assigned to the team. So the person who was basically manager, because it was either Danny Livingston, and it was Ricky Skerritt, he was Hesketh Benjamin, you know, those guys, all that people around the team. But then there was no official coach assigned to the team. So you as an individual got to, when you get into the team, you got to actually, you know, you're on a guy like Richard, so he's hard to the core. You know, hard to the core. From the time you step here, you know, it's hard to the core. And you got to stick to some language that you don't really, can really turn you off. You understand? But
Colorful language.
That's kind of really hard, you understand? And for the first time, and so when they playing on them, and so, and I went to Paris because I was roommate with Paris them times. And I told Parry, after my first training session, I said, Parry, I believe I going home, you know, because I didn't know it was so hard, you know, how we man doing the drills, him and the way he train and the catches them and stuff like that. But after a few days and so, I said, I get into it, you understand? And I able to watch him in the face and settings to him as well, you understand?
Right.
'Cause I know what he stands for. You know, you can relate to him in a particular way as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what he stands for. He stands for his cricket. So long as you go there, and you're going to put in 110, 120%, that's what he stands for, you understand? So
Right.
I learned a lot from those times, you understand? So I didn't get this hearted when I didn't get into the team for the first game, you understand? And I stayed around. And since 1980, 1980 to 1992, when I played my last game, I never get left out of the squad. I've been always consistently are you talking about world-class players, you understand? And in a world-class tournament as well, too, those times in the 80s. When you got the Lyde and the Richards, the Garners, the
Right.
Kraft, the Marshall,
Right.
the Roy Fredericks, Bacchus, and all the great players that we could think about today.
Yeah,
Some of the best players in the world ever seen.
Right.
the West Indies,
You know?
Leeward Island having 7 to 8 test players
Yeah. And
among other 13.
yeah, and all the time you find like 4 and 5 players from St. Kitts in the Leeward team.
Right.
You're talking about real company. You could leave that tournament, that regional tournament then, and fit yourself into any team around the world. That's how high the standard of cricket was.
Right.
That sounds interesting, man. Quite a career. The first year, you didn't get picked for the first match. When you actually played in the competition, the second, third, fourth, fifth, you remember?
Yeah, it could have been the second game in Barbados. My first game was in Barbados, against Sylvester Clark. And
Some heavyweights, man.
yeah, I remember when I went out to bat, you understand? Before I can pick my bat up, you know, Sylvester Clark and got the stumps then reeling back. And when I went back to the pavilion, Hesketh have a joke of it, you understand? Yeah, but you know, you're facing Harris and them feel like Harris then was sort of that quick, you understand? Harris had a little pace. But when you look at Clark and Marshall and those guys, you know, them guy was... When I look at somebody, the fast bowlers today, and I look at some of them and they say they bowl in 90 miles per hour. I said, well, them guys used to bowl 140 then. No, because when I look at 90 miles per hour in terms of the gun they use, in terms of the speed they're talking about and so on. I face Holding and Marshall and Clark and them fellas. Them fellas was really quick.
you faced basically the cream of the crop
Exactly.
of West Indies bowlers we had.
And after that first game, I basically find myself was a very, very quick learner, you understand? Because after that first game, and I realized I went in the net with Roberts and them on a regular basis. And start to, because I had to match up with guys in the team as well, because you had Parry, you had Willett. They missed 2 world-class spin bowler. Couldn't make any test team. And plus in that era, fast bowling was the thing them time, you understand? To get in a team as a spinner, you got to be good and able to bat as well too, you understand? Yeah, so those timings were very, very difficult to get in the team. And when you get into the team, another difficult thing is to maintain your spot into the team.
Right.
The fellas fail into the fellas go in 30-something and I make every 30-something and I get in the West Indies team today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember one year Atto make 570 odd runs and he couldn't get close to the team. 572 runs. And he couldn't get into the team.
That was the standard back then, eh?
But coming back home now to the festival, walk us through it the day, how that went, the spectators, the performances, the other past players that you had coming to celebrate with you.
Well, what we did then on that day basically was that we wanted it to be a true festival, as it were. Wanted to ensure that at least the cricket was played in a very festive mode, while at the same time we had some serious business on the other end. So what happened is that we had an opening ceremony.
Yep.
And within that opening ceremony, we had one Lennox Liebert, who gave glowing reviews of playing with Gishad and playing against Gishad. And then we had a plaque presented to Gishad on behalf of the club for his outstanding achievements in the game, and really bringing the community, the cricket community of Molineux and the surrounding areas, including Keon, all together. So the club presented him with a plaque. And then we went into some games that, surprisingly, we had quite a number of interest, with teams from, again, the surrounding community and teams from as far as Bastille. So they were engaged in some preliminary rounds on the Saturday. And then on the Sunday, came back and had those rounds completed, and then we had the semi-finals and finals in which Young Guns emerged as champions of that event, that cricketing event. But one of the things that stood out for us is that Sylvan mentioned that we took a short time in putting this event together. It might have been about 3-4 weeks.
Right.
That's very short indeed.
Yes, that we think, because we began our conversations before the Christmas season, and you know what happens when it comes around Christmas carnival time, and so everything took a back seat.
Right.
And we started right again in January, right after the season, because we recognized that this could have been, and it was, an important event, such that we have penciled it and have begun planning for our second event. Since that event has taken place, we've started again and looking at a bigger and better event come 2027.
That's right.
Because our objective is to make it bigger and better in honor of the great man.
Yes.
So this occasion, you're not going to have 3 or 4 weeks.
We're not going to have 3 or 4 weeks,
no.
definitely, because we have already, as I said, we looked at the event, looked at the mistakes that were made, see exactly where we would have fell down, and we can improve.
Definitely.
And so we've done that. Look at the reviews. We have gotten so many reviews, both home and abroad.
Right.
We didn't believe that it would have been the success that it was, given the short time of putting this event together. And so we are very pleased. And as I said, we've begun our planning already. And so we have a list here of some persons who really stood out for us. And I'll allow Myron to just list those persons and thank them once again. Yes, we would have thanked them officially, but publicly we want to say thank you to those persons. Because without them, I don't think that the event would have been the success that it was.
Not at all.
Yeah, good night again to everybody in Wagerland. We have donors here. It's a very long list, but we have to thank them because we appreciate their contribution. We had Tasha Chill Spot Catering Services, Q-Grated Coconut, Inner City Fashion, Chesley Hamilton, Timothy Harris, Len Harris, Leonata Nelson, Joni Thomas, Green Valley Pub, Green Valley Gas Station, Freights and Sons Bakery, Freights and Sons Supermarket, St. Kitts Cricket Association, Valley 10 Rental Services, Lando Cumberbatch, Extreme Trucking and Towing, Unique Fashion and Father G's Promotion, Gilbert's, Peter Clark, Sadler Funeral Home, Kevin Gaskin, KG Urban Wear, Inner City Tire Shop, Marsh, Island Purified Water, Jerome Thomas Sr., Genuine Love Bar, Dwayne Hart, and Digital Print Plus. That's basically a list of donors who came on board easily. We didn't have any problem approaching anybody.
Yep.
We responded promptly and surprisingly. When I look at the list, I was like, wow, this is a lot of
25
people.
donors.
If we had more time, believe me, I believe we could have get almost 100 donors. But because the time span was so short, but hey,
Right.
we appreciate what was done still. And we'll move on from here to bigger and better things.
Yeah. Because next year we're thinking about getting, like Flow and Digicel. Those are like the big sponsors of the cricket and stuff like that. We're trying to get the big boys on board, get them involved, get their banners flying, make it a bigger event. Because one of the things too we want to do too is to make it more uniform, where the guys could, the teams could be uniformed properly, and we make it more exciting, than it really was. Like I said, it was still really a really exciting day, The community really came out and showed a lot of support. I mean, a lot of Noel's old players, they came out too and showed their support and patronized the event, supported the bar, supported the event, So it was a real community get-together event, We really appreciate each and everyone who came out, supported Noel Gishard, who gave donations and helped out in any little way possible to make it a success.
One of the things that we did too is that the prizes that we shared or distributed to the teams were in the name of past players. So for example, you had the batter with the most runs. They were given the prize in the name of Winston Wader Davis and Lennox Libert.
Right.
Excellent.
So you had most wickets who were given in the name of Sylvester Otto and Jace Taylor.
Right.
Best wicketkeeper were in the name of Livingston Harris and Gareth Matthew.
Right.
Best fielder was in the name of Anthony Preacher Grant and Felix Frederick. And the MVP for the tournament, the prize was in the name of Edgar Gilbert and Sam Brandy. So we found a way of honoring all these guys who, again, would have played with Gishard and against Gishard in his time.
I really like that idea, I think that's a super excellent idea. And I'm hoping other communities would run with the idea of this festival and the naming of the awards there. That is awesome. Some of the names I remember. And as an umpire, I had a situation where Sandy Point was playing Keon. So Sandy Point was playing Newtown in Sandy Point. I think Daff was batting. And Daff batted normally number 3 for Sandy Point. Peter Thompson the left arm master, he bowled to Duff, and Duff had a habit of knocking the ball to the near fielders or picking it up and throw it. So Peter appealed. Under the law, he's out. But nobody normally thing, and so then Peter said, you don't know the laws. You guys speaking to his team, and they appealed again. So I had no choice but to send Duff. Sandy Point playing K-on in Sandy Point. Brandy, the late Brandy, may so rest in peace. Duff was the one who bowled to him, and he took the ball and he knocked it to the nearby fielder. So Duff appealed. And again, I ain't studied Duff again. But Duff said the same thing to the Sandy Point team, and everybody went up, and I had to give Brandy out. And Brandy abused, boy. Brandy abused. Because nobody really give people out for that, eh? But it's in the law about hitting the ball twice and handling the ball and things like that. So I always remember Brandy for that. And I really like the idea, gentlemen. And we have to slip away now. I do hope that you continue this. Gish, congratulations to you on the work that you have done. I don't know if the St. Kitts Cricket Association, they have done anything to honor you or anything. I know they were sponsored part of this program, but an individual recognition, I suspect that sometime the Cricket Association may have an awards, and keep on doing it because it's going to be expensive. It's not an easy thing. You guys think here it might have been expensive to have that award. It's much more expensive, but we have to find a way to honor our past players, officials, scorers, umpires, even spectators. Even spectators, we have to find a way, and I like that. You gave the names to both for the awards and the Brandy, the Gilbert, whatever the award is. And finally, what could we look forward to next year? I know you said you're going to look and learn from what is it. Do you see yourselves as yet coming up with any additions, any plans, doing anything a little bigger, making it? How many teams you had competing, and how much you're going to have next year? Are you thinking?
Well, we had about 9 teams. We were aiming for 10, but last minute one team withdrew. So we had 9 teams. But this time around, we are hoping that it will be, let's put it this way, it will be bigger and better next year. It will be bigger and better next year. As I said already, we've started the plans, and we're going to follow through with our plans. We've earmarked certain persons with responsibilities to ensure that they execute these responsibilities as we progress. And so hopefully that when that time comes around, we can come back and really, let the public know exactly what the Noel Guichard Cricket Festival is all about.
And if you notice you're using the softball version this time around, I don't know if we're going to go down the same road again. So those are some of the things we are looking at as well to maybe have some changes in terms of going into hardball instead of continue with the wind ball or the softball, as you may call it. So those are some of the changes we are looking for. And basically, I don't have the feel. I must say this is one of my highlights in terms of my cricketing career. And I must thank everybody who contributed to it, the Monina Cricket Club and all the teams and all the people who contributed to the whole package.
Well, Sanders, when the team slipped out, before you come in, Sanders, you could have called me, and I think I might have been able to put a team together and come over and win the championship.
You never can tell. Hindsight is always 20/20.
Indeed.
But one of the things, too, that we spoke about then, and we're looking forward to, is to include a female part of the tournament.
Excellent idea.
We recognize that this is a growing part of the sport, and so we're looking down in that direction as well. So all things being well, hopefully, as I said before, we will have and should have, and hopefully have a bigger and better tournament next year. And so with that said, I want to thank everybody, those who contributed, those who came and supported in whatever way possible. I want to say heartfelt thank you to everybody in supporting the tournament, the Noel Guichard Cricket Festival tournament.
Well, thank you, Saunders. You have had your 2 seconds wrap up.
Yeah.
So we give everybody another 2 seconds to
In
wrap up.
my wrap up, I would like to thank the communities of Molineux and Phillips and also the surrounding villages for coming out and supporting. I'd also like to thank Allen Warner, Valentine Paris, aka INI, Corette Watley, the curators, Yannick Challenger, Terrence Kelly, Basil Davis, Joseph Tyson, and Lenroy Joe. These guys work hard to make sure they grown in perfect condition for that day, so we thank them for that also.
Well, like to say, before I say thank you, I'd like to highlight something of the tournament that I think was really appreciated for me and the people enjoy. We made some twists to the rules. Like when you bowl out wide, no ball, it was 7 runs and no ball over. And that was very exciting because it was win ball, it was some out of shape guys there, it was some guys who haven't played for a while. So it was exciting. You had guys bowling 4 or 5 wides for over. So it really brought some fun. So that is something that we definitely want to keep because and acknowledge. And finally, I'd just like to say thanks to all the players who played in the competition. Congratulations to the winners, Young Guns, and to all the fans and good wishers that turned out. Thank you to all the sponsors that gave, whether it was financially, physically, or mentally. We appreciate it. And to the members of the Molineux and Kean Cricket Club, and especially those who was on the planning committee, I say thank you very much. Thank you to Underball, who played a very important role for us. Without you, our publicity would not have gotten where it gotten, so thank you very much. And most of all, I'd like to say thank you to Noel Gishard.
Yeah, true.
Gentlemen, it was indeed a pleasure having you, Gish. Congratulations again. It was an honor and a privilege to umpire with you. I wouldn't say to cheat you.
No, that's all part of the game. And
Yeah, you miss some, you win some.
yeah, that's right.
So you would have helped on the easy sail to make me a better person, a better umpire, because of the appeals and things like that. And I had to always be on my P's and Q's. But I like the idea, gentlemen. I congratulate you, congratulate the sponsors, because that is key. And of course, you're going to reach out to them and reach out to much more. And the best wishes. And I like the female version. I like the 7 runs and the no ball over. And in the meeting we had yesterday of the St. Kitts Cricket Umpires and Scorers Association, that was mentioned. And it really was, persons who were in the meeting enjoyed it. So congratulations and the best wishes, gentlemen. And thank you for keeping the cricket alive here in St. Kitts.
Yeah, thanks to WINN FM again, and thanks to you, Biff, for bringing us and the ball.
You've been listening to an interview live and direct with Noel Gishard, as well as the organizing committee for the Noel Gishard Cricket Festival held earlier in the year, the inaugural one, and a very successful indeed. And I thank the guests. I also thank Mr. Sly Percy Daniel, who was here before, and wish you folks a safe drive home and the best wishes for keeping the cricket alive. You, the listeners, I thank you for being with us here at WINN FM 98.9. I encourage you to tune in again next week, God's Spear, where we'll have more interviews for you on the activities that are happening here in St. Kitts. And if you want any ideas, critique the program, ways you think we could improve to serve you, shoot me a WhatsApp, 765-1100. That's my WhatsApp number at the moment. And before I slip away, I have to say, always be positive in your thoughts, in your words, and in your action. Thanks for listening. Have a good night. Do you want to know what's happening in sport? tune into On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball.